Hey everybody, No Mind here. In today's video, we will be discussing the upcoming changes to the Guardian and Chieftain Ascendancy classes in the upcoming 3.22 update Trials of the Ancestors. Let's take a look. Alright, so I have everything pulled up here. I have the new changes to the left side here, and then I actually have the current Guardian tree pulled up on the right side from the official website. So let's take a look. So let's start with Unwavering Faith. We're going to go top to bottom. So currently, the Unwavering Faith note grants the following. Auras from your skills grant 1% physical damage reduction to you and your allies. And also, auras from your skills grant 0.2%, life regeneration per second to your allies. The new change coming to this node, the node Unwavering Faith now grants auras from your skills grant 5% increased recovery rate of life, mana, and energy shield. So basically, you're losing physical damage reduction for, it's like basically like mana, energy shield, regeneration. To me, I feel like physical damage reduction is like a pretty valuable stat in PoE. So losing that is kind of like a blow. But let's kind of look at the whole, let's kind of look at all the changes first before we make like our final conclusion whether this is like a nerf or a buff, right? So far it's not off to a good start, let's be honest. But yeah, let's kind of let's keep going. So let's go look at the Radiant Faith node now. So Radiant Faith currently grants armor equal to 160% of your reserved life to you and your nearby allies. Also grants maximum energy shield equal to 10% of your reserved mana to you and your nearby allies. The new Radiant Faith node now grants armor equal to 25% of your reserved mana. So they changed life from mana, and then you and nearby allies also grants maximum energy shield equal to 10% of your reserved mana to you and your nearby allies. So basically, it seems like a overall nerf because the value granted from reservation of like, a resource, in this case, life or mana, is only 25%. Previously, it used to be 160%, which is like a pretty big change. Again, it seems like a nerf, but again, let's kind of look at the whole class as a whole before we may jump to any conclusions. Now let's look at the current Harmony or Purpose node. Currently, Harmony or Purpose grants nearby enemies cannot gain Power, Frenzy, or Endurance charges. You and nearby party members share Power, Frenzy, and Endurance charges with each other. And again, you get a little bit of a 20% chance to gain any kind of a charge on hit, right? Which is like a pretty nice stat. The new Harmony or Purpose node, elemental damage with hits dealt by allies between you and your linked targets is lucky. Allies between you and linked targets have 5% to all maximum elemental resistances. Enemies between you and linked targets cannot apply elemental ailments. So basically, any target that you're linked with, they're going to get a +5 to all maximum elemental resistances. Yeah, I mean, and then like, your hits are lucky. I feel like the power charge generation and everything was maybe a little bit more valuable, but honestly, like, +5 to all maximum elemental resistances is pretty huge. Just straight up, just +5 to all elemental maximum resistances just by being linked to somebody is a pretty strong stat. And with the Guardian, you're usually going to be doing that. And it also grants your elemental damage with hits is also lucky now. So maybe, honestly, like it sounds pretty strong. And then enemies between you and linked targets cannot apply elemental ailments. So this is a little interesting. So I guess they have to be like in the beam. And if the wrongest are in the beam, then the enemy cannot apply elemental ailments. Honestly, this is probably pretty hard to coordinate when you're fighting big packs of monsters. So maybe this is more of like a bossing thing. I don't know. It just, it seems a little underwhelming. But again, I'm not a Guardian player. I'm just kind of here sharing the information. So, take it with a grain of salt. This is just kind of my opinion, So let's look at the next node, Time of Need. Currently, Time of Need grants 80% reduced effective curses on you, and every 4 seconds, you regenerate 30% of your life over 1 second. So just a little bit of life regen, and it also reduces effective curses, right? The new Time of Need node, every 4 seconds, remove curses, elemental ailments from you, and every 4 seconds, you regenerate 100% of life over 1 second. So it's up from 30 to 100% every 4 seconds. So that's, so recovery, so they changed Yeah, it's still regenerate. Never mind. So this seems like a pretty nice node, honestly. Every 4 seconds, it seems like you're just using like a curse immune flask and like you're literally becoming immune to ailments. That's a pretty valuable. That's a pretty valuable thing. Just kind of purging everything off of you. From a group play perspective, this doesn't really seem that strong. Maybe there's some hidden interaction that I'm missing. Maybe it is strong, but overall, I feel like it's a solid node. Let's look at the next node in the list here. We're gonna look at Bastion of Hope. So now currently, Bastion of Hope grants 50% chance to block attack damage for 2 seconds every 5 seconds. If you've blocked in the past 10 seconds, you and nearby allies cannot be stunned. If you've attacked recently, you and nearby allies have a plus 10% chance to block attack damage. If you've cast a spell recently, you and nearby allies have a plus 10% chance to block spell damage. So basically, it's like a block node. The new Bastion of Hope is a lot less text heavy, so let's see what it says. If you've attacked recently, you and nearby allies have a plus 25% chance to block attack damage. If you've cast a spell recently, you and nearby allies have a plus 25% chance to block spell damage. Okay, so the numbers on the new Bastion of Hope, Ascendancy definitely, are a lot bigger. But I mean, this is like a lot bigger too. But I think this works out better because this is like, I feel like the uptime on the new Bastion of Hope node is going to be a lot more, because if you've attacked recently in PoE language refers to the last 4 seconds, as it says right there. So as long as you're attacking and as long as you're casting a spell recently, you're always going to have an extra 25% chance to block attack damage and block spell damage, which I think is an overall like a really good thing. It's going to be a very nice defensive layer for the build. So now let's look at the Radiant Crusade node. We're almost done here. So the current Radiant Crusade node, basically plus 10%, plus 20% to all elemental resistances, while there are at least five, no more, no less, 5 nearby allies. You and nearby allies have Onslaught. So basically, if you have a full party, you have Onslaught, 5 nearby allies. While there is at least 1 nearby ally, you and nearby allies deal 10% more damage. So, right now it's a pretty standard node. So now the new Radiant Crusade node grants level 20 Summon Sentinel of Radiance skill. 10% of damage from hits is taken from Sentinel of Radiance life before you. The Sentinel of Radiance skill, I believe, is a new skill. I could be 100% wrong about this. I'm not too familiar with the Guardian Ascendancy as well as Sentinel skills. That's something I would need to do. But basically, I think this kind of needs to be tested a little bit. I think this is something new, and we kind of have to see how that's going to work out. The Sentinel skill, Sentinel of Radiance, sounds like a Guardian. Maybe you can put items on it or something like that. I don't think it's that in depth, because that would be pretty crazy if they added like another kind of like Guardian type skill. But I think we're just gonna have to test it out, right? I'm not a Guardian player, so I'm definitely not gonna be doing the tested. But I'm sure other content creators out there will be more than happy to do the testing as soon as the skill drops on patch day, right? So last but not least, we're going to look at Unwavering Crusade. Currently, Unwavering Crusade grants nearby allies have increased attack speed, movement speed, and cast speed. Nearby allies have increased AoE. Nearby allies intimidate and unnerve enemies for 4 seconds on hit, right? And that's a pretty big damage increase on its own. So the new Unwavering Crusade Ascendancy point grants 25% chance to trigger level 20 Summon Elemental Relic when you or a nearby ally kill an enemy. So again, this is a pretty, I don't know that this Summon Elemental Relic, this Elemental Relic better do some work, because we're losing Intimidate and Unnerve on hit. And we're losing 30% AoE and 20% cast, movement, and attack speed for something called a Elemental Relic. So this was going to definitely be very interesting, to say the least. And I believe that is everything. I believe I've gone over basically the main nodes, the main changes that are happening to the Guardian Ascendancy. And there you have it, folks. A quick look at the upcoming changes to the Guardian Ascendancy class. I will also do a video on the Chieftain Ascendancy class, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Make sure to, like and subscribe. Also, comment down below. What do you think about the Guardian changes? I'm not really a Guardian player, but, you might be, and I would love to hear your input on what you think about the changes. Anyways, that's it for me. See you in the next video.